Hey, it's Steph from Happy Place to Grow. I'm here at home trying to keep warm this winter. However, I am excited about an upcoming event. It's almost Groundhog Day. Now, Groundhog Day is always held on February 2nd, and it's based on a legend, the legend of the groundhog. Now, a legend is just a story, a traditional story that's told over time. Here's the legend of the groundhog. They say this animal, the groundhog, comes up out of his burrow on February 2nd to check things out, see what's happening with the weather. And now this is kind of a good day for him to come out because we're halfway through the season of winter and halfway to our next season, the season of spring. They say when Phil comes out of his underground burrow to check things out, if he sees his shadow, that means he gets frightened, runs back in his burrow, and there will be 6 more weeks of wintry weather. However, if he doesn't see his shadow, that means that spring is coming soon and we won't have any more really bad weather. Now, this tradition, Groundhog Day, we've actually been recognizing it and gathering to find out what the prediction's going to be. Prediction is a guess based on some facts that we know. We've actually been recognizing this day since 1887. Wow, that's a really long time. Now, the most famous groundhog is Phil, Punxsutawney Phil. Hey, he lives in Pennsylvania, Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. There's always a big celebration on this day. Lots of people come together and see what Phil will say. So Phil comes out of his hibernation, his deep sleep, to talk to his handlers, and they open up a little scroll and it tells us what Phil thinks is going to happen in the next 6 weeks. Now, I have a list of all of his predictions since 1887, and you know what I've discovered in this list? That more often than not, Phil normally sees his shadow. I wonder what he's going to see this year, shadow or no. Now, it's always fun to celebrate Groundhog Day, but what do you actually know about this very interesting creature called the groundhog? Let's find out some facts. Now, a groundhog is a mammal, and a groundhog is in the rodent family. You can see that they're a furry animal, brownish gray fur. They have short ears and a short tail, very sharp claws that they use for digging their burrow homes. A burrow is an underground home. They like to stay close to their burrows in case an enemy, they have a few enemies, dogs, foxes, will come after them at times. So they like to be able to scurry down their burrow for safety. Now, what do you think a groundhog likes to eat? If you guessed fruits and vegetables and grasses and leaves, you are correct. But they also have been known to eat an occasional bug or two, or even a snail. Now, let's talk about baby groundhogs. Baby groundhogs are normally born in April or May, and they're called kits or pups. You might be surprised to know that groundhogs are very clean animals, very healthy animals, and a lot of diseases that harm or even kill other animals in the wild don't seem to affect groundhogs. That's interesting. Now, groundhogs are said to be very true hibernators. They go into that deep sleep, not just a sleep, but a very deep sleep. Their heart rate slows down, body temperature falls, their heart rate slows down. So they definitely go into that deep hibernation. Wow, there's a lot of really amazing things to learn about groundhogs. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. They're also called a woodchuck or a whistle pig. Whistle pig because that's how they communicate with each other. Their sound that they give off, it sounds like a high-pitched whistle. They especially make that sound when there's danger around to let other groundhogs know to get to safety. I have loved learning today about Groundhog's Day and about this really cool creature called the groundhog. Now, we said before we closed up this video that we would make our prediction about what we think Phil will say on Groundhog Day. Will he see his shadow? Now, you know a shadow is a dark shape that is created when light is blocked. When light is blocked, it casts a shadow or a dark shape. So, wonder what Phil will say about the upcoming weather. Will he see a shadow? What do you think? Now, based on what Phil normally does on Groundhog Day, more often than not, he sees his shadow. That's what I'm going to base my prediction on. So I've got 2 votes here. I've got no shadow, shadow. I think I'm going with a shadow. I think Phil is going to see his shadow tomorrow, and therefore we're going to be in for 6 more weeks of winter. And I guess it also might depend on what the weather is in Pennsylvania. If it's a sunny day, Phil will probably see his shadow. Hey, tune in tomorrow to the weather, to the news, because they're going to show this famous guy and they're going to let us know what he predicts. That's going to be a really fun and exciting day. Hey, let's close up with a little song that I like to sing with my students on Groundhog Day. It's called No More Winter because so many of us are ready for spring. It goes like this. Groundhog, groundhog, won't you come out? If you see your shadow, you may shout, ah! Don't go in your hole, no, no, no. We don't want any more snow. Groundhog, groundhog in your hole. No more winter, no more snow. All right, kids. I've got one more challenge for you. At the end of this video, I have attached a slide that has a little quiz for you about the groundhog. It's a true and false quiz, so I want you to see if you have gotten all these facts down. Stop the video and see if you can answer my true and false questions. I hope you get a 100 as we went over all of these cool facts about the groundhog. All right, until our next video, as always, have a good one and stay warm, and don't forget to check out the news tomorrow and see what Phil has to say about the weather. What will he predict? All right, until our next one, have a good one.